Hey guys, today we are going to introduce this equation that we just learned about last time we took notes, and we're going to give it a name, and we're going to start rearranging and finding slopes and y-intercepts from equations. So we are on pages 11 and 12 in our notes. Let's go ahead and get that out. Okay. So, we learned the most important equation last time we took notes, and that was y equals mx plus b. So we call this the generic form, like we would call this equation slope-intercept form, because it identifies what the m, or the slope of the equation, is. Remember, that is just like your steepness of your line. We represent it various ways. We compare the rise to the run, that's the ratio. It's also the change in the y's over the change in the x's. Okay, all of these are just representing the steepness. So we have our rise to our run to tell us how steep it is. So that's why it's called slope. And then the other word is intercept, and that is what the b value represents, and that is your y-intercept. And that is where your line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so our y-axis is up and down, and mathematically it is 0, comma, whatever the value is as an ordered pair. So first, we're just going to make sure we feel comfortable with identifying our slope and our y-intercept. We did this last time, writing equations, and then the meat of it is on the next page. So first, we just want to identify the slope and the y-intercept of these equations. So we're going to do the first one together. Okay, again, if you need to, you can write y equals mx plus b underneath or above. And then this is just a matching game. Okay, what is the m value and what is the b value? We just have to remember that m is your slope. So this m value is 2 or 2 to 1. The slope is always a ratio. And then our b value is 4, okay? Or as an ordered pair, it would be 0, comma 4, okay? This is not a proportional relationship because the y-intercept has a value, which means it is starting at 4 on the y-axis. All right, this next one, y equals negative 1/3 x. Okay, again, we've done this before. We're just matching up our m and our b. Okay, so our slope is a negative 1 to 3 ratio. And we do not have a b value. There's no extra added number. So that means this would start at 0, or it would also tell us that this is a proportional relationship. All right, for this next one, y equals negative x minus 6. Okay, our m is a negative sign. So that would be the same thing as a negative 1, since there is an invisible 1 in front of any variable. Okay, as a ratio, this would be a negative 1 to positive 1 ratio. Okay, and then the b value would be any extra added number. So this is minus 6. So the b value, or the y-intercept, would be negative 6. As an ordered pair, it would be 0, comma, negative 6. All right, and then the last problem, y equals, we have to make sure that we put our slope with the number attached to the variable x. Okay, so it is okay if something is written in the opposite form. The commutative property of addition says you can do that, so you just have to be careful. Slope is always the value that's attached to the x. So in this case, it is 5, or the 5 to 1 ratio is the slope. Then the y-intercept would be 2, or as an ordered pair, 0, comma 2. Okay, the second part says to write an equation of a line in slope-intercept form. Okay, again, this is the most important equation that we learned this year. Okay, slope is our m value, and b is our y-intercept. Okay, so to write our equation, it would be as easy as y equals slope x plus b. Okay, so I just put the slope as a negative 3. I put the x The formula does have plus b, but since this is a -4, I just wrote a -4 to represent that. You could obviously still write plus -4. That is still absolutely correct. Okay. For this next one, y equals the slope x plus b, so -3/4 x minus 2. Okay. For the next one, we have y equals our slope x plus b. Okay. We could simplify this, and the more correct answer, both of them are correct, but the more correct answer would be y equals 5/6x because it's more simplified. Okay. Then this last one, slope is 0 and the y-intercept is 10. This would be something like slope x plus 10. Okay. And because we have 0 x's, we don't technically have to write anything for that. And so we could simplify this equation by just writing y equals 10. Okay, so on page 12, this is the hard part, and this is what we'll spend when we get back from Thanksgiving break a lot of time doing as well, okay? Because we still want to identify the slope and the y-intercept, but with all of these equations, they're not in slope-intercept form, so we cannot identify what the slope is or what the y-intercept is unless it is exactly in the y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so what we're going to practice is we are going to be practicing solving for the variable y. Okay, so this is very similar to just like a regular equation. Okay, we just have x's and we have y's. Okay, so I like to, again, circle what I'm solving for. I like to put the line down the equal sign if you'd like. Okay, but I have to ask myself, okay, I need this 6x to disappear. I want it to go away. So how would I move, or what's the opposite of a positive 6x? Well, that would be a negative 6x. Okay, whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other side. Okay. Now over on the left-hand side, 6x minus 6x is 0, 0 x's. So I made that disappear on the left-hand side. So now I'm just left with y equals. Okay, now 9 minus 6x. Okay, I want you guys to think for a second. These are not like terms, okay? I cannot make this a 3, okay? This has a 9, which doesn't have an x, and this does have an x. So I cannot put those together. So I'm going to make a little note, not like terms. So if they're not like terms, guess what? I'm just going to write the 9. I'm going to write the minus 6x that we did to it, and that's really all we can do, okay? So now y is all by itself, okay? So this is technically ready to be graphed or ready to be identified for the m and the b. I usually like to write it as mx plus b as the final thing. So all I did was I rearranged this minus 6x. I put it right here with a negative. This was a positive 9, so I put a plus sign in between them. Okay. So now I can see that my slope is the -6. As a ratio, that would be a -6:1 ratio. And my y-intercept is 9. Or as an ordered pair, it would be 0, 9. Okay. This next problem is a little bit different. Okay, we have 3 y's equaling -5x plus 12. Okay, this problem, we had an addition problem, so we had to use addition or subtraction to get rid of it. Okay, so I'm gonna draw my line, and I'm gonna be like, okay, this is 3 times y. Okay, the way we get rid of multiplication is by dividing. Okay, but we just have to remember that we have to divide every single thing by 3. So last unit, we would have something like 3x equaling 15. Okay, so we would divide each side by 3. Okay, we only had one thing, so it was pretty easy. We just divided by 3. Okay, this time we have 2 things that are being divided, so we just have to be careful that we divide every single thing by 3. Okay, 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we have 1y. -5x divided by 3. Okay, that's not a whole number, okay? But I want us to remember that this is our slope, okay? This is our rate, okay? This is our ratio. So I'm going to just write -5 to 3, okay? Now, if we could simplify it, which we will in the next couple problems, we will if we can. Okay, but this is our slope. This is a ratio. It's just a division problem, which is this definition of a ratio. And so we can just rewrite it as -5 to 3. Okay. Then we have 12 over 3, 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So my slope, okay, my slope is this -5 to 3 ratio. And my b value or my y-intercept is 4. Okay. The next two problems basically put all of this together. Okay. -7x plus 2y equals 8. And again, right now, I don't know what the slope is, and I don't know where the y-intercept is, because it doesn't look like y equals mx plus b. Okay. So I need to move a couple things. I see this 2. I also see this -7x. Okay. So just like when we solved equations, we always got rid of the thing further away. So we are going to move this -7x first, because our goal is to get y by itself. Okay. The opposite of a -7x is a positive 7x. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. Okay. -7x, positive 7x is a 0x. I still have 2y over on the left side. Okay. 8, 7x. 8, 7x, I cannot put together. They are not like terms. So 8, 7x. Put a plus sign in between them because we added it to move it over to the other side. Okay. Now we are almost done. Okay. We still have this 2. We have to ask ourselves, how is this attached? This is attached by multiplication. So to do the inverse, we are going to have to divide it. Okay. And make sure that you divide everything by 2. Okay. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we have 1y. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay. 7x divided by 2 is 7 divided by 2. Okay. And it's an addition problem, so we just wrote it as an addition problem. Okay. I like to always usually put my slope first. You don't have to if you are comfortable with seeing that the slope is the 7 over 2 value. Cannot see that at all. So this is 7 over 2. This is 4. Okay. So my slope is a 7 to 2 ratio. And our b value is 4. Okay. This is the last problem we'll do today. X minus y equaling 3. Okay. Some of us like to put 1s on the variables that don't have numbers right now, and that's totally fine. You can. Okay. But basically, we still have to do what we did with this problem. Okay. We have to get rid of this minus sign, and we also need to get rid of this x. Okay. First, we need to get rid of the thing further away. So the opposite of a positive 1x, because this is a positive x, is a negative x. Okay. So a negative 1x. Okay. Because a positive and a negative make a 0. Okay, but when I drop this down, this is a minus y, so I need to put a minus y. Okay, you can put a 1 if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay, again, 3x. Those are not like things, so I have 3 minus 1x. Okay. Now I'm going to get rid of this negative 1. The way I'm going to do that is with division. Okay, negative 1, make a positive 1. 3 divided by negative 1 is negative 3. Okay, then this last problem right here. Okay, negative 1x divided by negative 1 is a positive 1. Okay, so I'll put a positive 1, and then I just have to make sure I drop my x. Okay, so I have positive 1x with a negative 3 or minus 3. Okay, so y equals mx plus b. Oopsie. So it looks like that my slope is 1, okay, or a 1-to-1 ratio. And our B value is a -3. Okay. So for today, guys, I want you guys to go to Delta Math. There's 7 questions that are just like these, where you are isolating the y and solving it and rearranging it. Okay, see you guys later.